In today's podcast, I'm going to teach you to hate rental pricing just as much as I do. Keep listening. Welcome to the Intentional Success Podcast, where we unpack the top strategies, explore business trends, and drill down into best practices to help your live events production business grow and scale on purpose. I'm your host, Tom Stimson. So I'm going to make a bold statement here. I'm going to say that rental pricing is for rental companies, right? By the hour, by the week, day, month, by the item. Oh, plus freight and pickup, right? That's rental rates, right? We have rental products. Responsibility of a supplier in regard to the rental item is for that item to work. And when I rent a lawnmower at Home Depot and it doesn't work, I take it back and they give me another one. They are not responsible for how well I mowed my lawn or whether or not my lawn got mowed. They're only responsible for giving me a lawnmower that starts when I ask it to. If you do shows for a living, your responsibility is for the show to work. People got to see, people got to hear, right? We got to make our cues. If an item fails and your show fails, there's a non-zero chance that you're not going to get paid because you're responsible for the outcome. And that's implied both in your scope of work and in your show pricing. Except if you priced it like a rental sheet and included rental items and rental terms and conditions, you might think you can wriggle out of it because it says right there, the client is responsible for letting us know if the equipment doesn't work and returning it for us and giving us a chance to fix it. Well, guess what? You play that card and bye-bye customer. And we know you wouldn't do that because actually you don't even know that clause is in there because who's read their own rental pricing term sheet, right? So it's 2 pages of 6-point type. Who reads that stuff? Well, guess what? Angry customers read it. So read it. See if it reflects the kind of business you're trying to do. And that's the first step with developing this passionate distaste for rental pricing that I have. Look, we all know where rental prices are made up, right? We assume that smarter people than us figured out how to price equipment and talent, and that we are all just copying them and say, well, I'm worth a little bit more. I'm not worth that much that day. I can buy cheaper gear. I can buy more expensive gear. Unfortunately, only half the formula was right. We did copy each other. The people who made up prices weren't any smarter than you are. They thought somebody else was smart and made up a price and they copied them. And we get this vicious circle of copying prices over and over and over again that mean just about nothing. So if we believe these prices mean something, it's so disappointing, right? Now, if you're a rental company, and that is you rent stuff at rental rates with rental terms to rental users, if you are not responsible for how well the user uses your equipment, that's great. Just keep doing what you're doing. Your rental rate is whatever the market will bear, right? Perfectly valid business model. But if I were you, your rental company, my rental rates would be, well, seasonal, right? And that's just me. Right. In rental, the key is to maximize utilization to earn maximum gross profit against the life of the equipment, allowing for repairs and maintenance. So, of course, if I can get it out in a slow month, that's money in the bank, right? Repairs and maintenance are covered for in the gross profit. So the rental industry is a pretty darn simple business, and it's awesome because you rent equipment to people, they use it, and they bring it back to you, and you get to rent it again, and you get to do it over and over and over again. And if you're only responsible for did it work or not work, great, maintain your equipment. Easy peasy. For everyone else that does shows and galas and concerts and experiences, meetings, if you put technical crews and operators on your jobs, if there's design, creative, or artistry in your service, you're not a rental company, period. You are no different than a skilled carpenter that arrives with the right tools. Maybe they occasionally rent a specialty tool from her supplier to help on a specific job, but the fact is you're artisans, right? Customers are not renting your tools. They're renting somebody who knows how to bring the right tools, show up with the right tools for that job. And the more skilled the carpenter, the better the tools. More expensive the carpenter, the better the work. The more expensive the job. You see how this works? The better the outcome, the more expensive they are going to be. So you could have a show done by three different companies that has three different values depending on how good their carpenters are and what tools they're using. I can buy cheap tools and I can do pretty good work if I really put my mind to it. And I can be a great carpenter with bad tools and do good work. I can be a lousy carpenter with great tools and probably do really mediocre work. You see how this is? So it's the talent that makes the difference. Good tools will do better work, but it's really the talent that the customer is paying for. So at Jumpstart Selling, the beginning of April, workshop I put on how to build a better sales funnel and how to make higher profit at the same time, I made a very bold statement, and I believe it, that there is no such thing as price. All this talk about price is just getting in the way of us doing business. There is only profit. Price is a transient number that you come up with based on profit. It's just a way for you and the customer to communicate on what money they're going to have to exchange for the thing that you're going to do. Now, they care about price because that's what they are paying. You care about profit, which means you need to know how to calculate it. And then price just becomes a tool to help you get more profit. You got better tools, you can get better profit. So conveying price to your buyer in a way they understand and accept will improve your chances of closing the deal, which is part of salesmanship. Now, some of us have been trained to look at shows as rentals. Our clients have been trained to look at shows as rentals, and we can untrain them. Now, before I get any farther here, I'm already hearing the complaints about the competition. Owners call me all the time and say, man, we bid on this job. Man, we worked really hard on getting the numbers down there. We had a lot of meetings. The clients seemed to really like us. And they hired these other guys, and I saw their quote. There's no way they're making money on that job. That was below my costs. I just laugh. And I cry a little bit on the inside because, one, you don't know that. You don't know what their costs are. You don't know if they're making money. And guess what? They are making money. They just know how to make money differently than you do. And guess what? They did make up their price, right? You have no idea what their costs actually are. But there's also a non-zero chance that your costs are ridiculously high, right? And for some of you, that's very high probability. So either you don't understand the math or your costs are out of control. And either way, you need to get a handle on costs and profit and quit looking for magic pricing formulas that are going to solve all your problems because they're not out there. Price doesn't matter. It's only profit. You need to learn how to calculate profit. So in the workshop, I talked about 3 ways to make more money immediately, right? You don't have to change your entire pricing system. You don't have to do all these things. Just do these 3 things, and you're going to be better off for the same dollar value of the show. If you will price it this way instead of the way you've been doing it, that show will make more money. And in fact, it will give you confidence to make even more money. Number 1, just start using markup. Understand the difference between markup and margin. Ban the word markup from your office. Do not let anybody say that word. God forbid, never say it in front of a customer because markup sounds cheap and transactional. It sounds like it should be a small number. We have a personal relationship with markup. Margin, on the other hand, is the money you can actually spend. So you're just cheating yourself out of percentage points for no good reason if you mark something up instead of applying a margin to it. And if you don't know the difference, you need to learn. Try the Google. Number 2, always estimate your talent costs first. When you're putting a budget together for a show, for a job, put together the talent first. Don't give me that BS that we don't know what people we need until we put the gear together. Yes, you do. And if you don't, you have no business building that estimate, period, right? You are completely unqualified to build that estimate. You need talent first. So if you don't know what talent you need, go talk to an expert, put the talent on there, and then go find all the rental prices in your system that you're so in love with. Now, if you estimate your talent first and you're making 30 to 50% margin on talent and the related cost to it, your job's going to be fine. There is no way you're not going to make money. The profit is baked in. Did you hear that? The profit is baked in, right? You don't have to worry about pricing because you already put margin in there, which means that you're going to have profit. And the third thing is stop thinking like a rental agent, a rental company, a rental manager. Quit showing your math to customers. You can show them the math that makes them feel happy, but it doesn't have to be your math, right? Your rental math might need an 80% discount. Great. Show them your retail rental prices with an 80% discount. Trust me, if all that gear's on your shelf and you don't give away labor, that job's going to make plenty of money. You don't need more revenue, folks. You need more profit. Revenue is based on this false pricing concept. Calculate your profit. Price is what you and the client agree on. Okay, you'll record the revenue. We're not going to change accounting. We don't need to. We just need to change our understanding of how your business makes money. And we will still weigh profit against risk, right? One more job when you're busy might be a pain. So maybe you want to make a high margin on it, even though you can squeeze it in. But one more job when you're slow, that could be the make or break job for the month. They may cover the rest of your overhead. You're willing to take less profit because it's going to dramatically reduce your risk of not making payroll, right? But Tom, what if my customer wants the same price next time? All I can say is to you is, in what world do any of us get the same price next time, right? Look, another important takeaway from Jumpstart was how to distinguish between the lowest possible price, the best deal we can give you right now, and the best value for your money. These are three different pricing strategies that appeal to three different buyers, or the same buyer in three of their different heads, depending on where they are that day, that week, that job. And you need all three of these in your toolbox. And yes, they're all profitable. Let go of your prices, okay, and think a little bit more strategically. So grab the right tools, learn how and when to use them, focus on where profit is really made. Hint, it's in talent. We never wanted more revenue. It was always more profit. So if you missed out on Jumpstart and you need a pricing and profit boot camp or kick in the pants for you and your team, give me a call. I'm sure we can work something out. Thanks for listening.
If you want to find out more about today's episode, go to trstimson.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes, related links, and tons of other valuable resources. If you haven't already subscribed to the Intentional Success Podcast, please do so, and I'd greatly appreciate if you would rate and review the show. Also, if you think you might be a good fit to work together or want more information about the Stimson Group, I'd love to hear from you. Visit trstimson.com for more information.